Steph from cheapskatecook.com. Welcome to Not My Kitchen. Normally we are in my kitchen, but today we're actually going to be touring our spring garden. You might remember 5 months ago, our family moved from our tiny fixer-upper townhouse to a tiny fixer-upper farmhouse. Our house was built in 1942. It needed lots and lots of repairs, but we've been living here, and now that it's spring, we were ready to go ahead and put in our garden, and I'm gonna give you a little tour of that. While you're here, if you like saving money, eating healthy, talking gardening things, hit the like and subscribe button. One thing I do want to recommend if you are starting a garden on a budget is to start small, because you never know. You might get to July or August and be like, gardening is not for me. I like supporting the farmer's market. I do not like being the farmer's market. So if you're not sure that you love gardening, go ahead and start small. Make some pots, grow some herbs, maybe grow tomato or cucumber or whatever grows well in your area. But start small so that you have that easy win at the beginning and you can just gain experience, and it's very motivating and inspiring. I've been growing my own food for 10 years now, and so when we finally moved to an area where we had space to grow on a much larger scale, I felt more confident in my ability to keep up with it. Okay, let's go tour the garden. Here is our classic in-ground garden. Our neighbor tilled this for us, which was really sweet. So step one was to clean out all the broken glass and rocks. Like so much broken glass and so many rocks. Per my neighbor's instructions, I added 2 bags of plain garden lime to the soil. And here's a word to newbies. Lime stinks, and preferably don't do this on a windy day. Then I added a few bags of cheap compost. You can doctor your soil for forever, but getting to chat with our neighbor ahead of time about what works for him in this area was extremely helpful and helped me stop overthinking this whole thing. This is what happens when you realize you need a hoe or something and you just use whatever you can find in the barn. After we kind of mixed it in, my neighbor ran his tiller over the dirt again to thoroughly mix it and break up the clumps even more. A few weeks later, this is what it looks like. Basically a patch of dirt unless you get up really close. But I split it into 4 parts and planted our really large plants in the in-ground garden. So we planted cantaloupe in this corner, about 6 to 10 plants, so hopefully we get something out of that. Zucchini in this corner, same as the cantaloupe, 3 large hills and about 10 plants. Also planted flowers around the border, including marigolds, which should help keep the critters away. One of the boys asked for a sunflower house, so I planted a circle of sunflowers in the center, but they never came up. Someone on Instagram said maybe the birds ate them. And finally, a little bit of okra, which I don't love, but it grows so easily here and the flowers are gorgeous. For our second garden area, I went ahead and built some garden boxes. Lumber is really expensive right now, so we only built a few, but since I'm used to growing in raised garden beds, I knew I wanted a few because I feel comfortable and confident about growing veggies there. Plus, it's an excuse to get the drill out and pretend I'm super handy. If you've never built garden boxes before, you're missing out on a super simple, satisfying build. Like, these are so easy. You should never feel pressured into buying pre-made ones unless you want something really fancy looking. I just took 4 1x8s, screwed them together with some long deck screws, and that's it. You can go with 6-inch boards if you want something shorter, and that's plenty of space to grow good root systems. And if you want to grow root veggies, you should go at least 8 inches, preferably 12 inches. I can grow smaller root veggies in 8 inches, and that works for me. Then I just got to be super anal about setting them up exactly where I wanted them to go. That stock tank is half filled with dirt and way harder to move than it looks. I planted some potato eyes in there. I haven't seen anything sprouting yet, so we'll see if we can grow some potatoes in there. If you're interested, I can let you know partway through the growing season how it's going, whether I'm keeping up with the weeds, things like that. Just vote yes or no in the comment section if you would like an update halfway through the growing season. We covered the bottom of the boxes with cardboard from our moving boxes. You can also use weed cloth, but these boxes were free, so of course we used them. Lastly, we filled the boxes with dirt. I found the cheapest raised bed mix, which conveniently was also organic, and we filled them about halfway. After we filmed, I came through and topped them all off with a little more topsoil and compost. Like our fancy gardening scissors? Here's a tip. When you are shopping for dirt for your raised beds, go to the back of the store where they keep the generic brand dirt. It's so much cheaper. And look for ripped bags. Sometimes the store gives them to you for 50% off. Here's what we planted in the boxes. In this one we have tomatoes, peppers, basil, dill, a couple other herbs, and some Swiss chard. This box, I mostly planted green beans because they're my kids' favorite vegetable to pick and eat from the garden. More greens and a few radishes. Box, I planted cucumbers, cilantro, more chard, herbs, and snap peas. The fourth box we filled with cut flowers, some edible and some for gifts and decoration over the summer and fall. Finally, we have lettuce and herbs growing on our patio, where they get a good mix of sunshine and shade throughout the day. We got this earth tower garden for free last year, and this is our first spring trying it. The earth tower mostly holds lettuce and a few herbs at the bottom. Then we have a few pots with the more invasive herbs like lemon balm, mint, and oregano. Our patio is also where we keep our seed starts. In this case, we have a second round of sunflowers that hopefully the birds won't eat this time. So that is our very first larger scale spring garden. Right now it feels more like a lot of good ideas. If you have ever grown a garden on a larger scale, I would love to hear your advice in the comments. This is my first time growing a larger garden and it's a little overwhelming, but I could use all the advice right now. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe button for more ways to save money and eat healthy.